Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday yesterday and are having a wonderful day today as well. Let's head right into Let's Go Help 2. So, more of the same news. I still have not received the paperwork that I need for the Collectively Rewilding Foundation to move forward in our current list. And so, what is this list? I see some people that I've not worked with before. Let's go into our calendar, right? And we're going to go down to the live meetups collection. We're going to drop that menu down and jump right into webinars and Q&A sessions. And you'll arrive on the list of the classes, sessions, Q&As, all the different wonderful things that are here in this particular space. And the next tab is our replays. And that's going to be for any of those replays that fit into a more class-based structure, right? Okay, let me just minimize this. That'll make it easier. There we go. All right, and so what I mean is Roger's AI user skills, we're down to so few. Megan's maybe are still in here. We're going to probably be removing the All About Business with Amber as we no longer host that class. So if you're interested in watching any of those, go ahead and jump in there. But it is our action plan for nonprofit. AI Grant Prospecting Live has a new name. I need to retitle that. Country Living and Business. And then the 2025 Let's Go Help Presents Navigating the Nation's Grants. And of course, 2025 is almost over. So we will be getting rid of this in the near future and starting off with another unit for 2026.
Are we really getting rid of All About Business?
Yeah, it's already gone. The class itself is gone. Amber teaches the Start My Business.
Okay, cool.
So she's still there. She's still got her pieces out there that she can give. That's every Wednesday. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I mean to interrupt everybody. I just
it's wonderful.
Me too.
You know, I have to stay up on all of this, right? This is like my daily minute by minute life, but most of us don't stay that on top of what's going on here in Let's Go Help 2. We have a general idea, right? But we don't know every finite little detail that's been changed. And that's why I communicate with you guys, just to keep you all in the loop and help you navigate. And anytime you have questions like that, please feel free to ask. And so here is the action plan for your nonprofit. That too needs to get retitled. There's lots of rebranding and retitling that I've been doing, and I come across them every so often. And so what you'll see here is the actual checklist for starting a nonprofit. All right. And so you have walked through. This is something that we've walked through. This will stay in here because this is a different type of a course. Even if we decide it doesn't belong in this space, I'm going to advocate for this to stay here the whole time because this is a video of Megan directing me to literally walk through each of the steps that you need to do in order to start a nonprofit. So that's really always valuable. It doesn't change. Now, things could get amended and we may need to do one again or something along those lines, right? The IRS could change something, Google could change something about what they offer, etc. But for the time being, for the foreseeable future, this is how you set up a nonprofit, all right? And so we've worked through steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, but we're stuck at 7. We cannot seem to get the IRS on the ball and get the finalized paperwork. There's a piece of the paperwork, but we need this secondary piece, and they just aren't getting it taken care of. So I will try to call them on Monday. Looks like it's going to be about an hour wait, so I have to try to find a way to fit that into my day. Mondays and Tuesdays are just crazy busy, but one way or the other, before we come into our next class on Friday, I'll have gotten a hold of the IRS or we'll have gotten the paperwork, right? Whichever comes first. And so we cannot continue to move on. I cannot register with the state charity office or do any of these pieces with Google and the Google phone number. I'm not able to do that. What we have done while we're waiting is Megan has been just throwing pieces out at us, right? You guys have been here for several of those sessions and we just pop it in where it goes in our notes. And so we've taken 2 of those sets of notes and created our next 2 lists that we'll go through. Once we are able to finalize step 7, we'll go through steps 8, 9, and 10, and then we'll be moving into the second list. Okay, this is growing your nonprofit. And what we're going to do today is fix anything that my limited knowledge and me working with an LLM to pretty all of this material up works with what she needs it to say. All right. And so I did already make a small correction, Megan, with
Okay.
Charity Navigator, right? Get
Yeah.
get your rating and monitor that rating and transparency score. Does that work?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. So do we need to start up at the top or are you good? Should we move on further? Are there other things you saw already that you want changed? Or should we just read it
No.
from the beginning to make sure
I
that it
say we
all
read
works?
it from the beginning just so it because running through it will help me.
Absolutely. All right, so this is all an action plan for your nonprofit, and this is the growing your nonprofit checklist. All right. Grant readiness and strategic planning, course checklist, and action guide. Now that your nonprofit is legally established, halfway, use this checklist to register for funding portals, build your credibility profiles, and master the grant application cycle. Step 1, verify good standing. Before applying for funds, ensure your state status is active and compliant, right? That's step 8 in our last list that we're going to work on. And then when we come in here after we've done steps 8, 9, and 10, as step 1, we'll go and walk you through how you would verify that. All right. Then we have step 2, federal. Oh, should I read through that to make sure? Before applying for funds, ensure your state status is active and compliant. Check state corporation condition. Verify your status with your Secretary of State to ensure you are in good standing. Step 2, federal and agency registration. You cannot receive federal funds without these specific registrations. SAM.gov, System for Award Management, and then you have the link, visit SAM.gov, essential for federal grants and getting your unique entity ID. Grants.gov, visit grants.gov, the primary database for federal opportunities. Dun and Bradstreet, look up or request Dunn's number. Is it ERA Commons? That's how you say that, right? Not ERA.
Yeah, you're correct. ERA.
ERA Commons. Visit ERA Commons required specifically for health and human service grants. Step 3, build credibility and credentials. Funders check these databases to verify your legitimacy and transparency. Your state solicitation license, check with your state charity official, required in many states to legally ask for donations. GuideStar, candid listing, claim your profile on GuideStar, upload your determination letter and mission. Charity Navigator, visit Charity Navigator, get your rating and monitor that rating and transparency score. Policy Commons, visit Policy Commons for research and policy-focused organizations. Step 4, access local funding. Local money is often easier to get than federal money. Community and economic development through the CDBG. Let's see what that means. Do you know offhand, Megan?
Yeah, Community Development Block Grant.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Community and economic development, specifically the Community Development Block Grant. Locate your county portal for community block grants. Contact your local office of community development. Step 5, competitive intelligence, freedom of information requests, FOIA. Don't guess how to win, copy what works. Use the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, or State Public Records Act, to see who won previously. Submit a request for proposals, RFP, inquiry, ask for that, meaning that this RFP is an inquiry, request for proposals, RFP, inquiry. Ask for the records of the most recent completed program year, what to request based on the CPRA template. The final list, funded projects, award amounts and descriptions, board items, staff reports and approving votes, the scoring rubric, see exactly how the winners were graded, award letters, official notifications sent to funded entities, and the winner's application. Ask for a copy of the winning grant proposal to use as a model.
Can I say something about that real fast?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I just did this and I had a couple of enlightening moments here. When I requested my community development block grants, I was informed that yes, I could have the winning ones, but the winning ones were decided before they were ever written. And I guess that is how small towns work and counties work as a whole for like unincorporated areas. So each town, you're going to have a different experience. So this may not just be like a straight shot. It's not going to work for everybody this the way we have it written, but it is that's the general way for like if I were in Orange County or something like that. But for Kern County, living in an unincorporated area, they had already decided all this stuff 2 years prior, and they're about 2 years ahead of the actual grant that you're supposed to be writing for. So they'll tell you like when it's your turn to write the grant, but they have a list of people that they or projects they want to fund, and that's how they've done it. So
Gotcha.
news to me.
And it's all news to me. So it's probably to a lot of us. So good to know. Thank you. Step 6, master the scoring rubric. Every grant is a game for points. Structure your proposal to hit the maximum marks. Typical point distribution as a reference only. Project description, around 30 points, design and partners. Results and sustainability, again, around 30 points. Outputs, outcomes, long-term benefits. Statement of need, around 18 points. Community description, workforce needs. Budget and narrative, 12 points. Alignment of costs with the project. Capacity, around 10 points. Final documentation and resumes. And so I just happened to actually fill out for a grant. This is an article that Tammy Larson shared for us in Let's Go Help Too. All right. And I went through this list and I decided to apply for, I think it's the Business Freedom Grant, because I believe that's, yes. Okay. So this is Darcy's business, right? I did post it in the community separately. Tammy had already put up the article, but I posted this grant. And I have told my Gemini and my Chat GPT in the settings for Chat GPT directly to Gemini, I don't want cheerleading is a simplistic way to say it, but I don't want to just be told it's beautiful and wonderful and amazing. I want to be given true critiques, and I want to have I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but I wanted true critiques, honest answers, and recommendations from that honest critique, right? And I encourage you all to do this. I read an article also about an AI bigwig, right? I don't care and don't know who he was, but he lies to his AI and says that he needs it for a friend, because then he's found that AI is more honest when they're critiquing a friend instead of the user. And so I circumvented that whole process. I don't like lying in general, and I don't feel like I need to lie to AI. I feel like I need to learn how to use AI properly, and to me, that's not proper use. So I went in and I deliberately told Gemini what I needed, and I went into the settings when I found out that you could do that on ChatGPT. I was like in there instantly. They put it out there. I'm like, yes. Went into the settings and I told that same type of instruction to ChatGPT. And so while that's not going to be perfect, when I'm working with Gemini, he's like, nope, that's not really going to cut it. And this is what you need to do instead. He doesn't say, oh, that's wonderful. That's brilliant. I love that. What a good idea. That's where we started, right? You don't want that from your AIs. So Gemini and I worked on this proposal, this grant application, and we walked through it and we walked through it and we walked through it. And at the end, Gemini rated it as a 10 out of 10 after looking at some of the material that he could or they could see behind the scenes. Now, is that a guarantee? No. But we worked through it for 2 hours probably, and it's a relatively simple application. Let me see. Where is it at? Yes, it is right here. I thought it was all on this first page. And so you walk through all that. You want to make sure you know what you're looking at, read through the information that's here. But then all you need, oh, hold on, that's Megan. I hope she didn't drop off. Hey, lady, what's going on? Did you drop off?
Nope, I just accidentally hit the button. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to hang up my phone.
You're good. You're good. Okay, so it just wants your full name, email address, and phone number, what your age range is, your gender identification, race. Of course, you don't have to answer those if you don't want to. Then you get into those that are required, right? Well, of course, your name and things are required as well. Do you have an existing business? I do. What year did you officially start your business? Put that in, or NA. What is your business idea? Now, Gemini redid this multiple times because I'm so used to it saying 250 characters. This actually gives you 250 words max. So you can do a really good job with that kind of freedom. What is your business idea? How would your business idea help people? Again, 250 words. If you were to win the $1,000 grant, what would you do with the money? 250 words. Pretty simple, right? Then how did you hear about it? You accept the rules, submit. This was a very easy grant. I did it when I was exhausted and I was at the end of my day. I wasn't even planning on doing anything else for the day. And then I'm like, let's just check out this article that Tammy shared. And I went ahead with it. It was a one-page application. Even though it took us probably about 2 hours, that's not very much. So $1,000 would really help me get to have better recording equipment, especially for the outdoors. But I'd also like to improve this camera that we're utilizing right now, because when you really look at the video quality in the playbacks, it's not very good. So I need to get some new equipment. And this is a more open-ended grant. So you don't have to shy away from needing equipment. There are definitely those that you don't want to talk about getting an asset as that equipment would be. You want to do a project, and Megan can talk to you about all of that much better than I can, though I'm learning more and more about it. This is a good one, and this is for-profit, but I went out and I did that over this last little bit, and this was the kind of rating that Gemini gave me. This whole situation here, oops, I'm too far, is exactly what Gemini worked on it with me under. So especially if you're going to use your LLMs, large language models, AI, for things like working with grant and grant-like opportunities, you want to get in there and tell that AI, or get into the settings and let the AI know you want true and honest critiques, and you don't want to be flattered. You don't, all that kind of language, whatever works for you. Experiment with it perhaps a little bit, but I get told all the time by Gemini, that's really not a very good idea. And this is what you probably should do instead. And if you were like I was before I did that and told Gemini that, you're probably much more used to your LLM telling you what a brilliant, amazing, unique, wonderful individual you are. And you are all of those things, but we're never all of those things all of the time. So we need honesty from these AI services that we're working with. It's a very real thing. Okay. It's also, you don't want to live in a false reality, and you also want to continue to utilize your own skill sets. And so when AI is not a cheerleader, when AI is a true partner in the fact that it will be critiquing and evaluating on a more accurate level, that will help you to continue to use your own mind better to get the results that you really want by working with a more honest AI. Does that make any sense? Or does anybody have any questions about that? This is a big part of our
No, I like that.
right?
I just put a prompt in the chat. It's my editorial architect, the one I use every time I go to write something that's important.
Nice.
So it's extensive, but it works.
Okay, I'll pull that up. Thank you. Okay. 3 isn't horrible. I like to get them down to a page and a half. So just so you guys are aware too, like if you want to get the best results with AI, you need to sometimes use these types of scripted prompts. Gemini, you need it less than others, and you can always get some results without using it, but this is where it's going to be the most accurate, real, usable, valuable results when you follow this type of a format, okay? And that's something to work on with Roger in his Wednesday classes, all right? He does that. That's a great place to ask questions, talk about how to set this process up. I just go and copy something like this, what Megan has, and then I modify it to fit what I need. So not everybody is comfortable with the English language enough to do that, though. So go and talk to Roger and learn how the people set these up without a template, right? Those kinds of things. That's what we want to work on Wednesdays with building AI user skills with Roger and Tammy.
This is from Alicia Little.
What's that?
This is from Alicia Little. Her and I came up with this one.
Oh, nice. Okay, I have not gotten a chance to work with whoever that is, but thank you, Alicia, as well for your contribution, as Miss Megan always.
She's the AI queen.
Okay, nice. Oh, is that the one that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I didn't know if you would want to share that in the community or talk about it at all.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Step 7, all right, that's where we move to next. Tailor your narrative. Tailor your narrative. There we go. Funder psychology. Different funders want different things. Customize your ask based on who they are. Local governments, for instance. Their concern is a duplication of services. You're in a smaller set when you're in your local governments, so they don't necessarily have enough capacity to duplicate things, right? They want to save money and make a big local impact. Let's edit this because this needs to go down and no, down and enter. No. Okay, what about shift tab? Will that do it? There we go. Okay. State government. Concern, tax savings, health, and justice. They want to see partnerships. All right. Do you see the difference? Duplication of services isn't mentioned. When you get to a state level, you need some duplication of services throughout the state, right? Then federal government. Their concern is documentation and systems. They have to prove where they're spending the taxpayers' money, right? And they also want to know what it is that you're doing. Document, document, document. Used to be kind of a joke is a triple report because you had the triple carbon copies. And before that, you had to write it out by hand, a triple copy, right? So document, document, document when it especially comes to federal, but all the time, really. And so documentation and systems, and then the want, they want to see structure, data capture, and reproducibility. If you do something well in California, they want to see if it'll work in Florida, okay? Now we come to corporations. Concern, their brand story. What you're doing, does it match their brand? Is it something that they can use in their advertising to brag about their community involvement, right? And what they want, to know how the grant changes individual lives. That's their story. That's what they market. That's what they use in their advertisements. Okay.
Can I say something about that one when you're done?
Anytime. Just cut me right off, Megan.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. So like this, for a perfect example of this is Coca-Cola does not fund health organizations. And it's pretty, I mean, I was like, why? But really because they're against them, like that no health organizations like, hey, you should drink more Coke, so that they do not fund like anything that's health wise. So if you're doing something that's health related and it's something you need a sponsorship for or something like that, you're going to not run with that narrative of health, right? So that's like a perfect example of you want to match the brand that you're going for. If you're
right, like my community sustainability healthy outlook of collectively rewilding the foundation doesn't want to approach Coca-Cola.
No.
Nope. They would say nope.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, they're invite only now anyway because they got so many. They were having a hard time getting applications one year, and then the next year it was like overwhelming with AI, and they decided, you know what, we're just going to invite people. And there's like a little back end trick that you can get in to get invited, but yeah, if you don't align with them, it's not even worth the try.
It's not worth your time, and it certainly won't be worth theirs, right?
Nope. Nope.
All right, so now we're going to let's save that. I think we'll stay right here. That's a new feature, and I love that. Now when you save it, it jumps you up. Okay. So we won't do that again if we have to edit anything else. Step 8, the grant calendar. Grants move in cycles. Use this schedule to prepare ahead of time. In the beginning of your year, right? This is really where we're at. We have, 5 more days of this month, right? And then we're in the new year. So beginning of year, January, February. This is where we are right now. Just go ahead and consider it unless there's a few, which there are a couple in this article by Tammy, or not by Tammy, that Tammy shared with us. There are a couple you can still apply for right now. But it's
there's tons, yeah. There's tons.
Well, in that article is all I mean.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah. There's a lot of grants that are due on the 31st, like the T-Mobile grant, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, definitely. And so I'm hoping maybe that's what you'll talk about tonight in your other class.
It is.
Wonderful. All right, and so we're going to focus today is kind of more the beginning of the year, and then tonight you guys can come in and talk about those last minute things that you can still get out there and do before the end of this year. Okay. So January, February, your source, corporate grants. Action, contact project coordinators immediately. And do you want to flesh that out a little bit, Megan?
Yeah. Okay. So what's happening during January is a lot of banks they've already entered into their fiscal year because their fiscal year ended on October 31st. So November was the beginning of it. They did their year-end giving for their marketing departments which have to give out certain amount of money too and get rid of all that year-end money. And then January starts and they go through an audit process. And after that audit process is over, that's when their bank portals will start opening. And so really we're focused on credit unions, banks. We're not looking for sponsorships. We're looking for grants. A lot of the banks grants will either happen right now, like credit unions will happen right now. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, things of that nature will happen. They opened their portals in February. So February is
Okay,
like
so
the grants month.
bank credit unions, did you say anything else?
No, those are the two that I really focus on because this is the time that where they're like this first set of grants is when they're putting out money for community development and stuff like that. So I've really always focused on those ones. They do another round in September, but it's not nearly as freeing as like free money flowing. And Wells Fargo, you have to have a invitate not an invitation, but you
Okay,
have to.
wait, hold on. Let's flesh this out here, okay?
Oh.
Sorry, I'll lose it because this is your brain. I don't have this yet, right? That's why we're all learning from you. Okay. So,
Sorry.
no, that's great. Okay, so September, what should I say? Another minor, how would you like?
September is going to be, you're going to have your closing federal grants. You're going to have some federal grants opening at the end of September, but some and bank grants are usually right in the center. So it's kind of a
Closing,
mix.
wait, hold on. Closing and opening federal grants. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep. Because a lot of the ones they open in August, I mean, they close in August and then you'll have another set just right around the corner in September opening again.
Okay, and then you said, what about the banks and stuff?
It's their second rounds usually.
Okay, banks second round of giving, like of
Yeah.
giving.
And that's for real banks like Truist, they give quarterly. They give PNC gives 3 times a year. I mean, I have a lot more in my brain, but I feel like that's a little bit extra. I shouldn't be giving you
And
all that.
something that we can talk about in each little class,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
And then I
Those
have
are fun to
figured out
walk
a
through.
way to get some really good descriptions for each of our videos now. So
Okay.
yeah, no matter whether they can, because sometimes the LLMs can see the videos you share with them and sometimes they can't. And it's been can't for a while now. So you go into your Zoom and you get your transcript.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been doing too. Okay.
Okay. All right. So then the last piece I need for here is your action. Control I, action. And so contact, where's the government ones? Let's see, federal grants, searchgrants.gov. So searchgrants.gov, right? Again, right?
Yeah, always.
And then, oops, okay, we'll do that. Control C, V, and
I gotta
then
get my new calendar made for you guys because this one's kind of confused. I mean, this is good because it's good, a very good outline. But the one I have like that I made with my monthly ones on it, it has like all the key grants to go after and stuff. And like,
that's a totally different thing, right? Like we need that
yeah,
too, but this is more your
yeah.
like
This is like the
over.
generalized one. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so and then September, what? We'll give it Apple for going back to school. That sounds like a decent emoji, right? Okay.
Yep. And then I need to add something for June.
Okay.
Oh, cute. Is that what you do every time?
To get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't give it to me, like it's not an option.
Oh.
There's not an emoji option inside the articles. Or there is now, but I forget. There didn't used to be. They have a new way of doing everything, but the old way didn't used to have it. And so okay. And so you want to add something in July?
No, I want June. So
June.
May to June. June,
Yeah.
you really want to focus on if you need a donation of a car, a vehicle, anything that surplus would be large in, like police like what's it called when they have all their cars? Fleets. Police fleets are
Okay,
getting
so
turned in.
federal, state, and local auctions for vehicles.
Yeah, surplus. You want to look at surplus because that's the school year's ending. The school buses are getting turned in. They're getting new stuff come the new school year. So they're getting rid of it. If you can get it before it hits auction blocks, that's what you want to do. You want to talk to your tourism authority. You want to talk to your police department, fleet, some people who do that. you want to talk to those people that can put you in front of the auction block. And if you can't get in front of it, you want to just try and get into those auctions because that's when you're going to get your best deals and get. I mean, somebody just got three trucks for a trucking company or trucking business for I think $1,000 each truck, and they're like almost brand new. They're I think 2 years old.
And who did you say to contact?
Your tourism authority, the
Okay,
highway
hold on. Hold
patrol,
on. Let me think about it. Okay, tourism authority.
like
Let's
the fleet managers.
over. Okay, I'll fix that in a minute. I just need to get it out there right now. Okay, so you said travel agencies?
No, your tourism authority, your school districts, fleet managers at the like police fleet management.
So law enforcement fleet management?
Yeah, because they all do that turnover right then in June. That's a perfect time to ask.
It's reversed because it's like in the special parenthetical. So like to make it distinct, right? Does that work? Does that look okay?
Yeah.
Separate management and federal.
Oh yeah, I see that too. Yeah. Good call. Good call.
Yeah. Little arrows. Okay. Action source. Okay, perfect. Is that what you think it should say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are we ready to move on then now, or we want to add?
Yeah, but I'm. Can you make sure that does it say specifically in June? Because you don't want to wait till July because a lot of people's fiscal year ends in June 31st or 30th. I mean, I just don't want to confuse anybody. That would suck.
There we go. What do you think?
That works. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to change or add or?
No, as we go, I probably will think of things, but no.
Okay. So we were at September. It sounds like we'll read that one. Let's just read this whole thing again because that might trigger you to think, oh yeah, da da da. Okay. So step 8, the grant calendar. Grants move in cycles. Use this schedule to prepare ahead of time. I would really recommend for those of you that want to be serious about this, printing this little thing up and keeping it by your computer as a reminder. Okay. So we have the beginning of the year, January and February. That's going to be your source, corporate grants, action, contact project coordinators immediately. And that's your banks and credit unions specifically. Springtime and year round, go to the source of foundations, action, get on their newsletter list, introduce yourself to program officers. May through July, your source, federal grants, action, search grants.gov, keywords describing your work. Look at last year's release dates to predict this year's. June specifically, and then let's do this. Right, specifically, right?
Yeah.
Source, tourism authority, school district, law enforcement, fleet management. Okay, federal, state, and local auctions. Action, get ahead of the auction cycle.
Playing from desktop 8F7
Sorry.
CQ2.
Right. Alexa, let's do that.
All right, now, September, source, closing and opening federal grants. Banks, second round of giving. Action, search grant.gov, keywords describing your work. Contact project coordinators immediately, banks, credit unions. October through November. Source, state grants. Action, search state websites and ask city county offices about state pass-through opportunities. late fall, early winter, those last few days that we've got right now, right? Source, local grants, action, contact the Office of Community Development. All right, are we good with that? You're muted if you're saying anything, my dear.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, we're good with that.
Okay. Thomas, you have your hand raised. Did you have a question about what we're currently covering?
Would you define state pass-through opportunities?
I have no idea for that either. Yeah, Megan.
I can. Okay, so pass-through grants are like this. Like, let's say I got a grant to do financial literacy for a large portion of the state. Like, let's say all of Northern California. And it was multi-million-dollar, multi-year grant. I would then be able to have those funds pass through my organization to other organizations, and I would be able to grant that money out to them for them to actually do the actual work, like the actual financial literacy courses and classes, and sometimes like for entrepreneur type grants, those type of things, those are all pass through grants usually.
All right. Thank you.
Like
I got it.
All right. And then final check. Before applying for your first grant, are you registered in SAM.gov and grants.gov? Have you claimed your GuideStar Candid profile? Have you identified your county's CDBG portal, right? Community Development Block Grant Portal. Have you filed an FOIA request to see a winning application from last year? Is your calendar marked for the upcoming local and state funding windows? Wait, let's see. Local, that's not just state, right? It'd be local, state, federal, and corporate grants, foundations. Okay. Wait, where are we at? Okay. Okay, is your calendar marked for the upcoming local, state, federal, corporate grant and foundation funding windows?
Sabrina,
Yes.
I do something in a private chat, because I don't know if you want everybody to have it, but this might help us too. This is the 2045 grant calendar, the way I have it written, but tell me if
I'll
that's.
pull it up. Yeah.
I haven't remade it with the new dates, but it's the same. It's the same every year.
Okay. Wonderful.
Unless it's not, like we had a lot of curveballs this time of year.
That is true, right? Yeah, things are happening that you probably could have asked almost anybody on the streets and they would have thought that they were never going to happen, but they're happening.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to save. We're good with this variation of the second list. Yes? Are you muted?
No, I said yes.
Okay, very good. And so we're pretty much at the end of our class time. Does anybody have any other questions about what we covered today? Raise your hand, open up your mic. Going once? Going twice? Sold. All right. I hope you, Abidwan, how can we help you, dear? And I'll ask you to unmute. I believe you've been able to use your speaker in the past.
Hello. Okay. I'm struggling with these processes. I'm a little bit slow in grasping all these things. Is there a way that...
The thing is that this is the second list, Abidwan. You really want to start with the first list. And your best bet for getting this understood for yourself will be to start at the top of this unit. Start with the guide that we built initially for starting a nonprofit. Okay, that's a different list. You need to work through this list before you worry about what we talked about today. And we have each of these little lessons here will walk you through material that we covered in this list. Okay?
Okay.
So that's how you're going to really start to understand. This is the second list. This is after the very beginning. Okay?
Okay.
So you want to start at the very beginning.
Could you link me with the very beginning, please?
I can.
That's the stage.
I believe I can tag you on here. Let me see if I can. I can't. Okay, let me go to This is actually really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a post because I want you to read that first list, right? And I can't tag you there. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to create a post for you in the questions channel chat. I'm going to jump in there, questions channel chat.
Thank you.
If it'll go there, right? No problem. All right. And now let's see if I can get your name without having to double check the spelling. A-B-I-D. Nope.
A-B-I-O.
That's where I always screw up, right there. Oh, no, I'm not finding you, though. A-B-I-O?
D-U-N. A-B-I-O-D-U-N.
No, are you sure you're still here? Because it's not finding your account.
A-B-I-O-D-U-N.
I have that. It doesn't, if it doesn't show it after the first letters, adding more isn't going to bring it up. So let's just look for your overall account, okay?
So what should I do?
Okay, so you're here, Abaddon. I don't know, maybe you left the questions channel chat because everybody's auto joined there. But if that's the case, you need to make sure to join that questions channel chat again. Okay, I'm going to have to leave your post in news and updates because I can't tag you in community or in questions channel chat. And the only thing that makes sense is that you left that space because see, I'm tagging you. I just put ABIO and your account shows up. I don't need the DUN as long as your account's here. ABIO is going to pull you up, but I couldn't pull you up in questions channel chat. So you've probably left that space and a lot of things happen in there. Okay, you want to join that again. Okay, and so.
Okay, well, you mean I would join the dates? Okay.
The space, the questions channel chat space. I'll go ahead and put that into your post as well. But you are looking at the questions channel chat and ask a question. You're not a member of this space and you were auto joined. So that means that you had to leave it. Okay. So I'm going to grab this for you as well. You want to rejoin this space. And the way that you do that is go to the collection, the ask a question collection, and then you'll see when you haven't joined a space, there'll be a join button right here. Okay.
Okay.
Because you can get in it without having joined it, but you won't be able to be tagged there. It's kind of important. Okay, so now we're going to come over here. And so the first thing that we're going to share with you is the action plan for your nonprofit, oh my goodness, course. Okay. There's that. Should generate something for us.
And then Sabrina,
can
what I'm going to do tonight?
What's that, Megan?
Can I go over what I'm going to do tonight real fast?
Absolutely.
Because I think that grant calendar I just gave to you, I think I'm going to go over that with them, because it's a good time for the beginning of the year, and then also funding opportunities, year-end funding opportunities.
There you go. Okay, so this is going to be the action plan for your nonprofit course where you can read all of that and watch those classes. Okay. And then in the comments, I'm going to place the questions channel chat so that you can rejoin that. Okay. I do not understand what it's doing to me. Ugh. All right. There we go. Right. And then I'll throw how to bookmark just to make sure. There we go. All right. And so that is what Miss Megan will be covering in our next class, her 2025 grant schedule that she says will be primarily the same thing next year, right? Could be some changes, but that's a good place to start looking at next year, as well as the end of year opportunities. And that is going to start with you guys today at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 7 o'clock p.m. Central, and 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And I will be back with you all on, I think, Thursday. I do believe I canceled my Tuesday class. Yes. Okay. And then I will not be back with you guys until next Friday. And then I'll get back onto my regular schedule. So Megan and I will both be back with you next Friday, January 2nd in the new year at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Mountain, 4:30 Central, and 5:30 Eastern. All right. I hope to see you all there, and I hope you all have a wonderful start to your new year. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Please feel free to unmute and say goodnight.
Goodbye till later.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy your new year.